Hey guys, Cosmos here from server for Europe on my Mage, and here I'm going to do the runes event as well as do it on my Knight right after, and also talk about the different runes and what's good, what's not good, and so forth. So I have in my bag a whole bunch of runes that I've saved up. I have here 1,000 a little bit, so I can start opening. Currently on my Mage I have just the brutality and blood. He actually never got the healing from the tanks. I did buy the mire rune. Maybe you saw my blog post about that. So, but all the other stuff in between, they're up for grabs. We got healing, we got guardian. I'm curious about guardian. Purge. Then we got Rage Rune, that's interesting as well. Chaos Rune, Popular, and Amnesia also, all are interesting. So we'll talk about them in a moment. So let's go ahead and exchange and grab some packs. So for my Mage, well, all the other stuff is just exchanging back into runes if you get the one that you don't want. And I'm going to do it one by one because I don't like to mess around with these things. So this one is says exclusively for Knight, so I'm not going to mess with that. So that's Purification and Purge. This one is for Mage, Purge, and Guardian. So normally I should buy 2 of these at least to get both. Then you got the Archer one, which is Purification and Guardian, and you got the Ancient Rune pack with Chaos, Amnesia, and Rage. So basically, in theory, I need 3 of these minimum, and the Guardian and the Mage Rune pack with the Guardian and Purge. Now I'm much more interested in these runes, so I'm gonna buy this one first and see what I got. So that's Amnesia right there. So we can come and learn it straight away. So that's good. Amnesia, so you do damage. As you can see, it is to random targets, but for mages it's easy to clean up the troops. And then it basically blocks a certain skill, which is very good. And always you can see on the when you come to level up the rune, on here there's a little icon. If you put your mouse on that, it'll show you what it does on maximum level 10. So you see on level 10 Amnesia does 100% damage to again your target, so that's nice. It's just extra. You can even kill somebody with that. So and it prevents the target from using 5 skills, which is ridiculously good. It lasts for 3 turns, and yeah, it's just very good for player versus player. It's excellent. So so I'm happy I got that. So always checking not to go overboard. So now I have, we'll just move the little one over here. So 764. I do want the cheaper runes actually. So I'm gonna grab those bags as well. So the Mage rune pack. And I'm more interested in the Guardian rune, to be honest. So here we got the Purge. So let's check out the Purge. So on maximum level, Purge dispels 3 positive buffs from all enemies. So that can clear out Santoria, that can clear out the buff from the Archer, and anything else really that even comes in the future in the game. So in that sense, it's good. For example, you could use it in Tower of Kings perhaps. It's a sort of a scatter for a mage. And let's go back to runes and hopefully get a Guardian now from the Mage pack. So here we go. And if I get the same one, I can just exchange it back, but for half the price. But luckily I didn't, so I got a Guardian, so I can learn that one. And Guardian, it reduces the damage received by 50% for 2 turns. Now, why I said I'm interested in this is because for something like the guild battle, you could use this and easily survive the ward tower ultimate attack, and just continue for the second round, possibly for the third round in a row. Especially for mages, they can heal themselves. So if you just survive one attack, just 1 or 2 healings, you are full again. And Guardian Rune, if it comes back, so you can use it the second time. So you can use it 3 times in total. Its cooldown is 45 seconds. So if between the ultimate attack and the next ultimate attack, you can drag out 45 seconds, which is tough, I suppose. But still, even surviving one is awesome already. And in the future, I'm not sure near or distant future, Guardian Rune can also be used to survive world boss attacks, like maybe some of you have seen. But you need to be like a ridiculously high bell rating, more than 400,000 or so, to have all kind of. You need to be a lot more powerful, and then you can use the Guardian Rune to help that. So that's the 2 that I wanted. I got them. So now now I just need the Ancient Rune packs. I got the Amnesia. So there's the Rage and the Chaos. So let's get one. And that's Amnesia. So there I got unlucky because that rune pack is rather expensive. So but I have to then exchange it back. I get half of the runes, so that's at least good. So let's collect it again. And twice unlucky. Got Amnesia again, so 3 times Amnesia. Let's go again. That was unfortunate, actually. And again Amnesia. That is really unfortunate. I mean, that's 4 Amnesias. That's yeah, no comment, but okay. So I think maybe the last one, I don't know how many I have left, but I think this is the last attempt. As we can see in the back, I have only 44 left, so even if I exchange it back, I hope it's not Amnesia again. No, I got Chaos Rune, so that's good. So that means I will not get the Rage Rune. Unless I go and spend some of my balance on it, I'll think about it. So when we talk about the Chaos Rune, so you deal 100% of damage, just like Amnesia actually. The difference with the Chaos is that at the max level, not at the beginning. At the beginning you see a 30% chance, but at the max level there's a 100% chance that the enemy player will hit his own people. That is kind of crazy if you think about it. Of course it implies that his Templars or Warlocks have to be alive for you to do that. Otherwise he will hit you because there's nobody else to hit. So, but it's wonderful to use it right in the beginning. For example, if he's doing Whirlwind or Lunatic or Rain of Fire, Fireball, you can use it at that moment, and or of course before that you have to use it in advance, and then the next attack is gonna hit his own people. Especially I've seen it used on Delphics, various Delphics. It's terrible if a knight tries to do Delphic and this rune gets used on him and the Templars are still alive. He hits his own Templar with the Delphic, so not only he kills his own troops, but he also loses all that rage, and his Delphic goes on the cooldown. It's a very dangerous rune, that one is. So that's it, I think, on the Mage. In the shop they are actually selling rune packs, I think, here. So here you get 1 rune, a rune pack, and a rune. So for 19. Just out of curiosity, I want to see what that is, because it says contains a rune pack and rune stone and a gem pack. So let's just try one, because it's not clear. Alright, so we get a kind of a rune pack. and in this rune pack you can have any kind of a rune apparently. So I might have to do some stats on this. Opening out, there's a further opening price on that, 49 billions to open it, because in theory you can get a very nice rune, but probably most of the time you'll get 1 rune or 10 runes, something like that. So I'll just open it. It doesn't want to open. There it is. Okay, I think something is off. Try again. Okay, I'll use in bulk. No, that also doesn't work. I'm gonna restart and see if that solves the problem. Alright, I restarted here. So let's see if I can use it now. Yep. And I got a 1 runestone, just as I thought. So, it's not surprising, that one, but of course those usually you have to open in large quantities to get something. But I also have, I think, some glory crystals in here, and 500. I could in theory buy some more runes, so I'll think about that. It's only 50, so it's not a huge amount, but I'm also okay with not having the rage rune. It's just more for completeness sake. Now brutality, and I'll just go over the runes and then I'll go over to my knight's account to do the same. Now on the brutality, this is basically a direct increase in damage. It's really good in all sorts of circumstances. It's probably the first rune a lot of people get maxed out, and especially with the Sylvan rune trick. If you don't know it, go check my video on combining sylphs and runes. People manage to do a lot of damage on the world boss by doing a sylph Delphix under brutality, which really multiplies. So that's basically brutality. Straightforward. Is against players mostly. You have a lot of more damage bonuses against players, but a lot of the time it gets used even in player versus environment, because still the percentage increase applies for everything and only the additional damage applies for players. So you can use it against basically everywhere, in dungeons, in world boss, whatever. So that's your basic rune. It's the cheapest one to upgrade, so that's why a lot of people have it, and a lot of people have it at maximum or near maximum. Like here I have it at 9 out of 10. Then you got your blood rune. Now the blood rune is one of my favorites. On the highest level it does 8,000 damage per turn to the player for 8 turns, and that's lethal. It's probably the best, one of the best runes a mage can use. And the reason for that is because in mage versus mage fights, they heal themselves so much that they usually go into the high percentage penalty areas, and that's where the blood rune does immense damage. Already under 50%, it'll do 8,000 plus half of it, so 4,000, so it'll be 12,000. At 100%, it'll be 16, and so forth. So imagine getting something like, I don't know, 16-20,000 damage per turn for 8 turns. It's just crazy, on top of the regular player damage. So and because mages have area skills, very strong, rain of fire, fireball, and then it becomes really, I always call this fireball, by the way. That's why I opened the skill tree just to see, because I knew it's meteoric, but I call it fireball because that's what it is. Because that cleans up the troops really nicely, so it's very easy for a mage to put a blood rune. For my knight, he uses blood rune as well, but it's much more difficult for him to clean up the troops and put the blood rune on the enemy than this from a mage. By the way, I didn't get the healing actually. The healing rune, let's see if I can actually get it. I don't know. I could buy it in Class Wars, in the Glory Shop perhaps, or was it not for sale? Yeah, they're probably doing it. Yeah, it's only it's done through the glory shop. Okay. Now the healing rune, it's in a way, from one side, if you have a personality of or play style of a certain type, it's better than blood rune. Because heal rune, you can use it at any time. You don't have this restriction that you have to clean up the troops before. Heal rune, I think, is good in the battlegrounds, so you can quickly heal and stay at maximum health. It's just kind of a support rune if you want. It's also really good in places like Spire, where it's pointless to have something like a blood rune to put on the bosses, but the healing rune can help you to stay alive there. So also a very useful rune. Then you got the guardian rune. We talked about that, so that'll decrease the damage received. That you could put also like right before enemy does some really big spell, like Gaia's Delphic, for example. If that's coming, you can see he placed it. You can put it, if your runes are available, you can put a guardian rune and just survive it easily. That's one strategy for that. Purge rune, talked about as well, about that as well. It's a kind of a scatter for mages, and yeah, that's all there is to clean up the positive buffs from the enemy. Rage rune is pretty good for all kind of situations, to bring that rage back up. Chaos rune, talked about it as well. You place it on the enemy, it does damage, plus it makes him hit his own troops. That is players, doesn't work on bosses, I think, although I'm not 100% sure. Let me see the description again. It prioritizes players, so you can put Chaos Rune right in the beginning. I forgot to say that. Even if the troops are alive, that is. But I'm not sure about bosses with little monsters, if it works on them, because I never used it. But that is primarily, these two are primarily seen as PvP runes normally. And amnesia blocks the enemy from using his own skills, which is a very, very dangerous thing to have. So it does the damage and prevents target from using 5 skills, but this is on level 10. You have to understand that on low levels it's not as effective. So it has 50%, for example, on level 1 it has 50% chance from preventing, and it prevents only for 1 turn, which is not a disaster. So, and then the mire, which was not available of course in the rune event, but I have it, as you saw my blog post there. So let's look at that as well. The mire does also 100% damage to the target, and has 100% chance to reduce casting speed by 100%. It's basically a deep freeze, which archers have, but for mages in a rune. So it's a slow rune. It slows down. Very useful for all sorts of occasions where archers normally put slow and nobody else can. With the mire rune, mages can put slow. So that's the runes for mages. Alright, and here we got my knight, and he has also a bunch of runes. I think it was 1400 runes he has on him. So and he has only the initial 3 runes: the brutality, blood, and healing rune. So let's have a look at the healing rune. Now on maximum level, the healing rune will restore 30% of hit points, and that is a lot actually. If you imagine people over 100,000 life, that is more than 30,000 life restored just with the click of a rune. So that's pretty cool. Now onto the rune exchange. So for knights, you have then the knight pack with purification and purge. This is maybe interesting, but I'm not super excited about these. Even if I have these for free, I'm not sure I would be using them. So I'll again start with the more expensive ones perhaps. because they're, well, much more difficult to get than the rune packs. So let's buy one and see what we get. So he got a rage rune. Actually, also rage rune is good for any class, so I'm happy about that. So immediately restores 80 rage. It can be used 3 times, but that is again on a maximum level 10. On the lower level, it restores 30 rage, but probably can be quickly leveled up to 35 rage. So that's not so bad, but the cost of leveling up, you see, it's going up and up the higher the rune. So for the rage rune, you see 10,000 is required to level up, even just from level 1 to level 2. So let's go open another one. And so the quantities are dropping very fast actually. So another rage rune, so unlucky there again. So I'm gonna keep that in the bag for now. I wonder if that makes a difference. Amnesia rune. And I hope I can get the chaos rune. That would be really good. Rune exchange. 2 times rage rune. Let's go again. Oh, and the runes just ran out. 3 times rage rune. That's not good. Not good at all. Absolutely bad luck for my knight. My knight is non-payer, so that means that if he doesn't get lucky, well, he is then unlucky. So now I have I better count this up. I got 577. I can buy 2 more of the ancient packs, so probably I'll try at least 1 more. So let's try that. And I got amnesias. That's not good. So now I have a choice. I can either buy 1 more or can I buy 2? That's 400 and for 2 I need what, 480, and this will give me 120, so it's not enough. So I can buy 1 more, and I think that's it. Rune exchange, and it doesn't work, so I'm gonna reload, I think. Alright, I'm back in, so I'm gonna go and see. I indeed don't have it, so let's try. Now it works, and I get again a rage rune, so that's unfortunate. So exchanging back, one of these and one of these. I'm gonna try the last time. Amnesia, unlucky. I got 97. They'll give me 120, so that's 200-ish, so that will not be enough for another one. Rune exchange, so I'll take 120, and now basically I'm thinking I will take the smaller ones, because I'm not gonna risk it again. I'll try the smaller ones. At least I know one time for sure it'll be useful. So purification, right, and for the purification, it dispels 3 negative buffs from all allies. So that is like the Mage's purification spell, which is actually quite useful, because if the enemy puts a bleeding effect on everybody or on you, you can just purify it. The mage doesn't have to lose a turn, perhaps, or maybe you don't have a mage. So in that sense, it's quite useful. Of course, on a lower level, it's much weaker. It's only for your for one person. So for yourself, if you're alone, or one random teammate, which would be useless for that case. And it's more expensive, 6,000 to level up from 1 to 2. Rage rune gets more expensive. On the level of amnesia, it's still 10,000. and the mire rune I didn't actually look, but probably it's more expensive. So now I'm missing a purge rune, which is that let's say the scatter version for knights and mages, and the mire rune I can't have, so forget about that. So and the chaos rune, so I'm missing these two. And in terms of runes, I got 157, which means I need 90 more, let's say, to try one more time for chaos. Although I'm not sure I should be using chaos as a knight. I'm thinking if I should spend my glory shop crystals on that. I think I will think about it, because I'm not so let's say rushing to use those runes, because especially for free players, leveling up the high level runes is very very expensive, or it'll take an extremely long time. It's very cheap to level up, or cheap relatively speaking, cheap to level up brutality to level 10. Then after that the blood and healing are already more expensive, so you see, for example, 22,000 from level 5 to level 6 is required. So to get that to the max, I remember to get the blood rune to the max took all the effort. There's basically all the runes were being invested in that. I had the healing at level 1 at that time, I think, and to get these ones to the max level where they are the most effective is very very difficult. So although from these ones, the chaos one is probably the most popular one, and you can understand why, because in the class wars, one of the first most important objectives that you have is to clean up the troops. Especially for knights with Gaia attacks, cleaning up the troops is super important. So I was actually hoping to get that one, but the chances of it getting it now are very very low. So I just calculated, I actually can't have even another attempt, because I need to spend more than 800 glory crystals, and I only have 600 something. So I basically don't have enough even to buy one more attempt. So I think my knight is stuck with what he has, for good or for the bad. So what I can do is try to get the purification rune. Why not? It only costs some runestones, and runestones will get over time. So I'll get one more of these. And I got purge. Purge, of course. Oh no, I had purification. I didn't have purge, so that's awesome. So straight away I can fill that up. So then that means I have all the let's say the first line, and I got some of the rarer ones, and then I won't have the chaos and the mire for night, and then I'll adapt my strategy. The good thing about the runes is actually it's different from a lot of other things in runes. You actually have different choices, and different people can make different choices, and it doesn't have to be one is worse or one is better than the other. And that's why I like runes compared to anything else in the game, because it allows you different paths, and it allows you to have a more unique character. So that part of the game, I think they built good or better than other parts of the game. So so let's then finally go. You got 3 classes. You got the knight, the mage, and archer. They all can use brutality. So even with all these new runes, you will see people will still use brutality. Worst case scenario, people will use brutality in the world boss, because that is easily increasing income. Then you got the blood rune. Up the blood rune again for all classes, it's wonderful. You clean up the troops, and all classes can do that. For knights and archers specifically, they have talents. So I can't show you the archer talent tree, but they also have a similar one, where for knights you reduce the time of the cooldown for the whirlwind, and archers have the same thing for lunatic fire. So you can bring that up. So you see I brought mine to 7 actually. I had this at 0 completely. For class wars as well, I brought this to 7 because with the future someday we'll have those higher level troops, level 70 troops, and what I want to be able to do is I want to continue hitting with whirlwind to clean up those troops. Archers can do the same, easier than knights, and mages can do it the easiest. So the blood rune will always be very useful rune. So that's that. For healing, I actively, so you see actually my active is healing. Why? Because I do much less PvP on my knight. I do a lot more PvE, and in PvE I take a lot of time with my team, the healing rune, because for places like Spire, it's and dungeons as well, it's much better to have the healing rune, so that if there's an emergency you can just heal yourself, because everybody is now so used to the dungeons. They get even sleepy sometimes doing it, so mages can forget to heal you, and you don't want to die and then have to redo it. So that's why healing rune is good. I have it at level 5. Actually, I'm not planning to increase it. It's only 2% extra for level 6. It does its job. At level 5 it's good. Now the purge rune, which is the dispels positive buffs from the enemy. So again, on the max level, this one will remove 3 positive buffs from all enemies instead of one enemy. Again, in player versus player, this is great. I also think in Tower of Kings this is good, because when those high level stages get Centauria on them, they heal crazy amounts. So if you can just clean up the Centauria, and that will not waste a turn from your archer, so your archer doesn't have to scatter, he can do damage, that will be good. But it is not a kind of a life or death type of a rune. It's more of an adaptation rune, like if you don't have an archer or you want to support. Same thing for purification. It's not life and death, it's more like when one class is missing. In this case, if a mage is missing and purification is needed, or if there's only one mage and he can barely handle the healing, you can help with purifying the bleeding that is set on you, for example, by the bosses in Spire. For a rage rune, I think all classes can use it. You of course have to have a need for rage. Knights have less need for rage than other classes, but still, in some cases when you want to dish out a lot of damage and quickly, rage rune is good. As well, if you want to use various skills quickly, that rune can come to help. Chaos rune, like we talked about, is probably, if you can get this to max, which is extremely expensive, it's the first thing to do when you start class wars. You put a chaos rune, or any PvP for that matter. You put a chaos rune, he hits his troops. Not only he gets damage himself from the rune, then he loses his attack, and then he kills his own or hits his own troops. So it's like a win-win-win type of a rune for PvP. Amnesia rune is, let's say, not as sexy or directly awesome as Chaos rune, because you can really see the effect of Chaos rune straight away. Amnesia is more of a like a silent ninja assassin type of a rune, because on the Amnesia rune, it will do the damage to the player, so that's the same as the Chaos rune, so there they have the same. The difference is, of course, nothing will happen to his troops, but it'll prevent him from using 5 skills. So and you know that we all have 5 skills, so it'll basically block his skills completely, and then he has to switch to Sylph mode or something. So it's a very dangerous thing, and if a player is not aware of this, of effects of this rune, and somebody uses this rune against him, he can also panic. So this is also a psychological effect. He can panic and start hitting his keys to try to get the rune, to try to get the skills to work, and they won't work. So yeah, it can turn out pretty nasty. So it's also a very good PvP rune. Now the mire rune is like I said, is a deep freeze. Basically, it's in the same category for me like the purge and purification. I'm not sure why it is increased in prestige so much, but basically it's again because something is missing, and you want to support to slow down. So if you don't have an archer, you can use this. You can also I suppose use this in PvPs, but I wouldn't imagine using it myself. There are other better choices like the amnesia and chaos for that. So that was a long video and a long explanation on both accounts on runes. So I think I covered all the things. Right, so thank you for watching, and do click on like and subscribe below the video if you enjoyed it. Always helps a lot when you do that, and also when you share on Facebook, Google Plus, Twitter, whatever, with your friends, guilds. My links to my blog and to my Facebook are in the description of the video. You can always Google Cosmos Wartune blog. Got all kind of stuff there. It's a massive Wartune blog. So that's that. And if you also want to check out my character, or if you want to join the servers, my knight is on server 2 Europe here on AG, and mage is on Kabam server 4 Europe. And also, if you can find that by googling Kabam Wartune, or you can also see there what other games they have. There's a whole list of them, so you can check those out as well if you like them. If you need to message me or ask questions, email or put the questions on better on the Facebook account, on the Facebook page, because then it's easy to put a question there and answer. Also useful for other people to see. I generally prefer that people put questions in the YouTube comments or on the Facebook or something, because then everybody can see my answers, whereas by email people will not see. Of course, if it's a private question, I understand. Try to keep stuff short, because I get a lot of communications, so try to keep it short, make my life easier a little bit, so that I can help answer all the questions people have. So that's it, you guys. Thanks for watching, and have a very nice day.